Hi, my name is Kate Baker, and I am going to share with you today how to gamify learning with Edmodo. I'm a ninth grade English teacher from New Jersey in the United States. I'm also an Edmodo certified trainer, and I'm the instructional designer for the Edmodo certified trainer course. You can stay in contact with me via Twitter or by checking out my blog. Both are listed here. In my classroom, I've been an Edmodo user since 2010. I've taught predominantly ninth grade English, 5 classes, approximately 25 students per class, and classes are 43-minute periods. We are not one-to-one with technology, but I do have a shared Chromebook cart that on the days that we are using the cart, we are one-to-one. But that cart is also shared with other teachers in my hallway. And I use Edmodo groups for communication as well as content delivery. Now, why Edmodo? Well, that's an easy answer. It is so that we can better engage with our students. We can personalize the learning for them. We can connect. And we can also measure their understandings. But primarily what we want to do when we integrate technology in our classroom, whether we just blend, flip, or gamify, is we want to meet the needs of our students. And we want them functioning according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We want them functioning in these realms of belonging and esteem. We want them to feel that they belong to something greater than themselves and that they feel good about the learning that's happening there. And Edmodo allows me to do that. So when we talk about gamification, this is the process of integrating game mechanics into existing content so that we can motivate participation, increase engagement, and build that loyalty to the learning. When we look at gamification, there's 2 roles that people take. The first is the game master, you, the teacher. You create the plans, you design the challenges for the game, and you build this all inside of Edmodo using Edmodo's group and class features. You will also monitor player progress and award points and badges to track the leaderboard. And the players, those are your students. The players, they will join a Edmodo group specifically for this game. They will complete challenges and earn points and badges, and they will move up and down the leaderboard as appropriate. Now, if gamification interests you, I just use Edmodo to gamify my classes with a very simple design. I don't do a backstory. I don't do experience points. I don't make this crazy elaborate game. I keep it very simple. And let me show you how I do that. So for our Odyssey game, I take Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey, and I turn it into a game-like experience for my students. This is using blended learning. So I take all the content I know that we're going to study with Homer's Odyssey. We're looking at Greek mythology, the Greek gods and goddesses. We're looking at the Trojan War. We're looking at the epic hero's journey. We're looking at the characteristics of an epic poem. So all of that content, instead of me standing at the front of the class and lecturing to the students, I take all of that content and chunk it into specific groups. So I'm using Edmodo's small group feature. Take all that content and I load it into small groups. Now, to keep my students organized, I provide them with this paper game board. It looks like a game, one where you might move your puzzle pieces across the board to get to the game at the finish line at the end. And so I build the game in advance. I give the students this paper game board so that as I walk around the room and check on their progress, I can see where they are at without asking them to open up a Chromebook or their computer. So how does this look in Edmodo? Well, I create one big group. So for this year, I did the 2018 Odyssey game. And then underneath each one, I load these small groups. Now the content is organized by topic. So in the first small group, I have the Greek gods and goddesses. In the second small group, it is epic conventions. The third small group looks at the hero's journey, and then the fourth small group looks at the Trojan War. And this is all of our background knowledge for the Odyssey. Now in each of these small groups, I have resources, I have hidden answer keys, and I have assessments for them to complete. And that they only see the small group that they've been given access to at a time. So when a student first logs in, they have the welcome message for the main group, and they will see the first small group. Once they've completed the tasks in the first small group, they've done them proficiently, then I will add them to the next small group where they will access the same type of resources and assessments and so on until we get to the end. So on a separate document for me, I keep a list of all the content and the tasks. I have the timeline determined, how I want to break up the levels, the resources, and the tasks for completion. And when you want to make your own game, you want to give your Edmodo class a creative name. So, I called this the Odyssey game. Simple, but creative. And I set permissions so that the class is read only. I don't want any communication happening in this group. I want all of that communication to happen in our regular classroom group, which I'll show you in a minute. Now within the small groups, every small group has a pinned welcome message. I list the directions and I list the activities that the student is to complete in this small group. Now what you want to do with your design is you want to vary the amount of work for each level. Think of it like a game. When we play a game and we can level up quickly, we get through a game quickly, that keeps us motivated to keep playing. But if we ever get stuck in a game and we are bogged down in a level and we just can't beat the game, what happens after a while is our motivation starts to decline. We no longer have fun because we keep losing. So you want to keep the fun with your Edmodo game. The tasks should be easy to complete, but still worthwhile. They can't be busy work. You want it to be something appropriate and useful. And some levels you can get through real quick, other like in 15 minutes. Other small groups might take 45 minutes to get through. But by varying that amount of work the student will do, when they get through a group quickly, they're like, oh, I'm ready for the next one. That will keep them motivated. And you want them to feel that thrill of success. So again, the small groups are set to read only. I only give access to the first module, and I automatically add members to this small group. And then once we're ready for the next modules, the next small groups, then I will manually add them so that they can level up. Now when you build your group, here's a tip. Other than your pinned post, you want to post to the group in reverse order so that what your students are to complete first will appear at the top of the group, because you can't reorder Edmodo posts. Yes, you can pull a post and pin it to the top of the group, but you can't reorder them. So again, in the designing this, you need to create a master list of the things you want your students to complete, and then post them in reverse order to the group so that the first thing you want them to do will appear at the top. And you want to be uniform and consistent in your design. Don't overload them with too much information. You don't want that cognitive load to be too heavy. So you want to include one or more Edmodo notes with resources and answer keys attached. You want to include maybe one Edmodo poll, one Edmodo self-scoring quiz. Don't use the short answer response that you have to manually grade because you want feedback to be given to your students right away. So only use matching, fill in the blank, true, false, and multiple choice question types so that when the students complete the quiz, boop, they know what the answer is and they know their immediate performance. And then you want to have one or more Edmodo assignments that will assess students' application and analysis of the information. Use the quiz to assess comprehension and understanding, lower level Bloom's taxonomy. But then you want to use the assignments to get them functioning in the upper realms of critical thinking where they're applying what they've learned or they're analyzing the information. And when it comes to assessment, make sure you track their progress. Allow students to work ahead, but you have to provide a specific timeline or a final due date for stragglers. Don't give them an open-ended amount of time. And you want to reward students with positive feedback on assignments and badges for completing tasks or modules. And if appropriate, you can publicize those who are at the top of your leaderboard, those who've scored the highest in each module, or have completed the tasks the quickest, but proficient. Now let's pause for a second as I show you what that looks like in my Edmodo groups. So welcome to the 2019 Odyssey game. Here you can see the main classroom group where I have the pinned post, the welcome message, and has the link to the game board. All of our tasks are listed over here in order by group. And then when they go into each small group, there's the welcome message that lists the items they're to complete. I even put in a link to each post. And then as we scroll down, we can see here's an Edmodo note with resources. Here's the quiz. Here's some more resources. And then the assignment down here at the bottom. Okay, so I repeat this pattern with every small group. We have the welcome message with items, and then how I do answer keys is I will attach, here's a PDF of an answer key, and I titled it A Gift from Hermes. So kind of being silly and playing with the, the name of the Greek gods. Here I've hidden an answer key so that if a student goes and clicks on the attachment, they will get that gift of an answer. So it's kind of like an Easter egg, a little bit of a fun thing that I've hidden in there for them. Again, complete the quiz. And this level was really quick, that they could get through this level very quickly to then get to this longer level. And again, I have used, Edmodo posts, another gift from Hermes of an answer key. So again, trying to build on their capacity for clicking on links and going exploring. Now, what's nice with Edmodo is that we can track all of the students' assignments for the different levels by seeing their tasks here in the progress area. So I can see what their quiz grades are. There's their 2 extra assignments that they had to complete. But I kept it real simple. Didn't want them to do too much work, but they certainly demonstrated what they learned. And then for badges, I would award students badges for various things. So for every quiz, and once it loads, every quiz, I had the opportunity for the student to earn a badge for getting a perfect score on the quiz. If they got all quizzes perfect scored, they earned another badge. There was, let's see, if a person turned in their work, they got that badge. If a student did this one, again, turned in their work, they got a badge. If they dedicated to completing their tasks, they got a badge. So I use the badging to reward behaviors that when they completed a level, they earned a badge. And when I saw, say, for example, that the students used tools to overcome obstacles, they got a badge. So the badging is great with students to reward them and to reinforce behavior that you would like them to complete. Now, let's think about how you could adapt this for professional development. So what if we used this same concept to gamify our professional development? Well, if you're an Edmodo Certified Trainer course, you're doing this already. We can modify this gamified design for asynchronous professional development with our staff members. Create an Edmodo group with corresponding small groups, load each group with content, Edmodo notes, polls, an Edmodo quiz, and assignments, and then each week add members to the next module. You can have all members set to contributors so that you can allow for asynchronous communication and discussion. But you want to keep, again, those Edmodo quizzes should be automatically scored and the results revealed to the educators who are in your professional development course. And you also want to design assignments so that you are being respectful of the adult's professional responsibilities and workloads. The work should be something that's actionable, it should connect to the adult student, and it should not feel like busy work. And throughout this whole process, you want to provide feedback and positive reinforcement. Now, when it comes to badging, you can't award badges to teachers the same way that you can award badges to students. But I have a workaround for that. So you can keep a folder of JPEG or PNG images of different badges. Or even just think like digital stickers, like here's a good job sticker. And then you can attach these to comments or posts and assignments. So you can kind of award like a digital sticker onto a student's assignment or as just a comment. So I would like you to think about how you can take this design and replicate it, not just for your students, but also your staff. And I hope you'll stay connected beyond and let me know if you have any questions or ideas of how you can apply this to your own learning. Thank you.